Hi, Sunday night, 8 o'clock, Diana the Happy Lawyer time. Sunday night, 8 o'clock, Diana the Happy Lawyer time. And now here's Diana. Someday I'm going to have a big orchestra playing that, just like on the Johnny Carson show. Hi everybody, how are you? It is the week after Christmas and the week before New Year's Eve. I actually missed a show last week because I was driving. I was traveling in my car, and it was just it just got too crazy. I didn't have a regular connection, and it was very trafficy on the ride down. But so I missed the show. First time I missed it, I think when I was in New Zealand, I had an episode that was a day late, but this is the first time in almost a year that I actually missed a show. So I apologize for that, but you know what? Sometimes in life, you gotta not worry about that kind of thing. 2 weeks ago, my pre-Christmas show, I discussed the 5 ways to avoid stress at the holidays. And I realized also that they were pretty much the same things that you're going to do to avoid stress all year round. And they were to, of course, they're not right here, which they're supposed to be. Not double book, not book too much stuff to do at one time, and appreciate that things take time to get done. Not to stress out too much over material things. A couple of weeks ago I said, do less shopping for people, shop online, that type of thing, or also give the gift of your time. This is something that you're going to appreciate much, you're going to appreciate much more when you spend time with people than sending them even flowers or anything, or a sweater, as any time in your life. Spending time with somebody is definitely the most important gift you can give them. So do that. The other tip was to let things go. If your house has got too much stuff around right now, or your refrigerator is packed with with leftover food that you have to clean out, just let that kind of stuff go. If you have a lot of visitors at the holiday time and they're too much, like after 3 days, fish and house guests start to stink. That was my dad's line. And, it's true. But, you just let stuff go. Everybody's having stressful time during the holidays, so you just let that stuff go. The other thing was to take care of yourself. Make sure you are eating right, getting enough sleep. Very important is always getting enough sleep. Apparently there's been some evidence too that helps with stave off brain diseases like Alzheimer's and memory loss and stuff like that. If you're making sure you get enough sleep, 8 hours, whatever it is, just don't stay up too late and get up too early if you are trying to get a lot of stuff done, because your brain's not going to work well if you're doing it that way. So make sure you just pack it in. Go to bed at 10 o'clock. That's what I like to do. And the other thing was, something I don't remember, but I'm going to let that go because I'm not too worried about it. So now, those are the things, just don't stress out. Just don't stress out over the any time of the year. Christmas, I'm in my Florida house now. This is my Florida Christmas tree. I love it. The things that... Funny thing happened on the way to Florida. I've said this before, and I have to emphasize it again for the new year. And I'm going to give you a New Year's challenge to start off the new year. Nikola Tesla, one of my favorite people, said, if you want to understand the universe, think in terms of frequency, energy, and vibration. So the idea that he put forth, and a lot of other people like Edison, and not Edison, what's his name, Einstein, a lot of people believe that we're all vibrational energy, and we're all vibrating on different frequencies. And when you tune into the frequency that you want, then that, whatever frequency that is, the vibration that you're putting out will come back to you. So the energy vibration that you're putting out is on a specific frequency, and when it matches up with the frequency out in the universe, that's what you get back. So if you're putting off negative vibrational energy, you're going to get that back. If you're putting off positive and happy vibrational energy, you're going to get that back. Kind of like tuning in a radio where you're, at 106.7 was playing Christmas music. If that was the vibrational frequency that you wanted to put out on your car radio, and let's face it, you're turning the dial, and we can't see those vibrational waves going out of your antenna or out into the sky, and we certainly don't see the vibrational waves of 106.7 with all of the Christmas music coming back at you. But the reality is, you tune in your radio to 106.7 and the Christmas music comes in, because that's the frequency that matches. So you sometimes, because we can't see it, because we can't see the vibrational frequencies, it's hard to believe that something like that is going on. It's always hard to believe stuff that you can't see. This way you have to have just sheer faith and belief that it's the way it is. So when I was trying to get down to Florida, I was really trying a lot of different ways that I usually get it done. It was not the normal way because of different changes in my life in the last couple of years. And it was becoming very difficult. And I was getting a little sad because I really wanted to come to Florida with my cats. And so I just said, I didn't say I'd give up. I said, I want to go to Florida with my cats. I put out that vibrational frequency. And I said, universe, you make the call. If it's something that's not right, if it's not going to happen, fine, I'll go with that. But I really do want to go. That's what I want to happen. So please, universe, please line up everything that needs to be done to get me down to Florida with my cats. And sure enough, out of nowhere, a friend that I haven't seen in 25 years called me, and we were just chatting, and we met for for dinner in Manhattan, and we started talking about different real estate ventures in Florida. And he said he was interested in taking a look, and I said, do you want to drive to Florida with me? And he said, yes, Robin Pettifer. Great thing that happened. And then it just occurred. And then I picked up a ride on the other end. My friend Cindy is going to be coming back with me. But it was very interesting, because as soon as I let it go and let the universe decide and let the universe take control, I just put out the vibrational frequency that I wanted to go to Florida with my cats. And I tuned into it, and the universe brought it right to me. It came very easily. And that's the funny thing, like if you're at 106.7 and the Christmas music is coming in nice and clear, but then you hit, you turn the dial and you're at 106.9, it sounds fuzzy and choppy. When things are fuzzy and choppy and they're not happening right, it means you're not on the right frequency. So you have to tune in to what you really want. And that's always another difficulty of how we express what we really want, because lots of times people are talking about the things that they don't want in their life. Oh, there you go, Cindy, my ride home. People are talking about what they don't want in their life. They don't have enough money, or they're running out of money. It's a big thing that people talk about all the time. But you have to just change that to money is coming, money is on the way, or the money will be here for that when I'm ready for it, And if you're putting that vibrational frequency out into the universe, then the universe is going to tune in to that and not tune into I'm running out of money, I don't have enough money. Because if you're on that frequency, then that's what's going to come in clear. The I don't have enough money is going to come in clear. So I wanted to talk about the new year. New Year's coming, and it's not only the end of the year, but it's also the end of a decade. And it's kind of a funny thing, because humans are really the only creatures on Earth that deal with time. Animals don't care about time. Animals live by dark and light. And if you go to New Orleans, you also, during Mardi Gras, it's just dark and light. You don't know what time it is. It's just either dark out or light out. And that's how animals live, or even with seasons, they'll know that, oh, it's getting a little colder. Bears know when to hibernate. They don't have a calendar on their wall that says, oh, it's October 15th, time to set up for hibernation. Or, it's April 15th, time to wake up. They don't know time. Only human beings deal with time. And time, as a result of that, we become stressed out because of time. Getting someplace on time. Now, I have to hand it to Benjamin Franklin because he actually started the timetable for ships to come into the dock so that people can exchange commerce. The ships would come in and they'd be there for however long, an hour before they left to go to the next port. And then, 15 minutes later, people would show up and go, hey, where are the ships? Oh, you just missed them. They're gone. They were here 15 minutes ago. So he set up a time that, the ships will come in at 8 a.m. So then people would show up at 8 a.m. and you would be able to do business that way. But the reality of dealing with time is that it's very stressful to add it to your life unless you can see it in a different perspective. So now we're looking at the end of the year and the end of the decade. And the thing about judging time from the end of the year and the end of the decade is that we want to use it as a measurement of how much we've accomplished or what happened to us this year. What happened this year? Or how many years has it been since Hurricane Sandy? Or I just saw recently they were doing something on television about Y2K. How many years ago it was when we were going to the new century. And they were all worried that, that all of our computers were going to explode because they couldn't handle 2001. And so we have a tendency to use these measurements, and also things like birthdays, oh, I'm another year older, and these things are really artificial. They don't really matter except in your mind that it's the end of one year and the start of another year. But it's hard to escape from that because really it's just another day. It's just another day and another week and another month and another hour, another minute, whatever it is. It's the effort that you're putting in. Like now a lot of people are going to go, oh, it's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to, try and lose weight. And how many years have they been trying to do that, lose weight? The words that we use, I've mentioned this several times, the words that we use are going to create our reality. So, losing weight is never a good thing because when you lose something, you're always looking to find it. If you lose your keys or you lose your wallet, you're trying to find that. The words that you want to use are like, I'm starting a new, more healthy lifestyle. Do that instead of stuff like losing. Also, the word lose, like, you're a loser. Loser. Who lost today? The Saints won, and who lost? That made it a problem for us to get into the playoffs. But it was somebody is losing. So losing is a bad term. Don't ever say you're losing anything because you don't want to lose. Nobody wants to lose. Everybody wants to win. So change your New Year's resolutions and pick the words that you want to make the goal that you're trying for come to you more easily than something like losing. When we think back on the year that passed or the 10 years that passed, we're thinking in images. We see life in images in our mind. Hi, Ernie. So here, perfect example. Lots of examples right here. I have Ernie and I have Linda. Ernie and I went on an amazing trip this year, Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii. And now I know that the year of 2019 is going to have those images in my mind. When I think back on what I did this year, I can see that trip. I can see what we did. I can see us going to the airport. I can see us at the beach. I can see us climbing mountains and doing everything that we did. And when we think into the future, of what we want to do next year, if it's write a book or take another trip. I mean, we're thinking about going to the Galapagos Islands next. I don't know what they look like. I have images in my head from what I've seen in books. Like, I guess it's just a big rocky outcrop with a bunch of Komodo dragons. That's what I imagine the Galapagos to be. But that's something that I'm putting into my future, and it's images. So really, we work from images, what we've done in the past and what we're going to do in the future. I don't see the words Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii. I see the images of those locations. I don't see the words Galapagos Islands, although at this point I kind of do, because it's something that I don't know what it really looks like. So I'm imagining in my head what those images are, and I'm going to be reaching for those images as opposed to, words like I want to write a book. Do I see the words, WRITEABOOK? No, I don't see that. I see a book like my friend Barry just wrote, The Evolutions of a Law Practice. That is something that I see when I think about writing a book. I see a book. I see an image of a book. So this is how we deal. And even something like 10 years ago, if you're looking back on the decade, what you did this decade, it is going to be in images. So what are images? Images, the word image, is related to your imagination. So images are in your imagination. And your imagination, Albert Einstein says, the imagination is the coming attractions of your future. I always like that. Coming attractions of your future. So while you are using your imagination to look into the future to see what you want to create in the next year or the next decade, these are things that can be anything. They can be anything in the world, going to the Galapagos Islands. I'm sure once I start looking into that, I'm going to find that it's much easier than I even imagine it to be. So the images that I'm placing in front of me can either be something that's going to be difficult, like writing a book. Oh my God, I'll never be able to write a book. Or, hey, I'm going to write a book this year. It's going to be easy. I have a lot of topics, and I'm going to focus. I'm just going to write some chapter names, and then I'm going to, fill in the blanks. So I can imagine that that's going to be very easy for the future, or I can imagine that that's going to be very hard for the future. So, when you're using your imagination, you can do whatever it is that you want. I'm sorry, we're waiting for the football game to come on because, it's Sunday Night Football. And when you're describing the images in your head, I want you to use positive words. Use goal-oriented words. I was thinking today that something like new, the new year, things that are going to be new in your life, is a word that's very similar to the word now. New and now. They kind of go together. And they both conjure up something different, something that's occurring in the present moment. So be the person that's going to create things in your future from a very wide open imagination of positive images that are going to be new, something you've never done before, and that are going to happen now. Don't think, you can think about things like, oh, in the next 10 years I want to do this, or 10 years ago I did that. I'm wearing my acorn earrings because the things that you plant now, so here we are, we have like 3 days left till the end of the new year. The things that you're planting now are going to be what is going to start growing in the next year or in the next 10 years. And things that you planted last year or 10 years ago may be the things that are coming to fruition now, the things that you can, the things that you can harvest now, because, an acorn, there's 1,000 forests inside this one acorn, but it's not going to happen in a day. It's going to take a long time. So start planting the seeds that you want for your future now. And I think if you start planting them now in 2019, then when you go on to, the middle of the decade, you could say, oh, I started that last year. Or, I've already been working on it since last year. I've already been working on it since last decade. So this is a good idea now to start planting the seeds for the next year and the next decade. And all I'm talking about is using your imagination to get on the vibrational frequency of what you really want, send that out into the universe, and then the universe will bring it back to you. So it can be as easy as just writing something down. It can be as easy as just saying something, I want to write a book. I'm going to write a book this year. Now, I want to write a book is like something that we all want to do things, and sometimes we don't get what we want all the time. Can't always get what you want. So say, I'm going to write a book this year. I'm going to start a business this year. I'm going to go to the Galapagos Islands this year. And when you're planting those seeds now, and they start to take root, then as you go forward, the acorn is going to, sometimes it has to start underground in the dark, but just by saying it, just by saying the things that you're going to do is going to plant seeds for the future. So here's a couple of my quotes that I like to print the quotes. And this one is, what the new year brings to you will depend a great deal on what you bring to the new year. So,
I won.
Oh, my brother won the football pool. Yay.
I don't like to lose.
There you go. He's winning. He's winning. He said it all day long. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And he did. He won. So that was great. So what your new year brings to you depends on what you bring to the new year. If you're going to bring negativity and a lot of words like, I can't do that, it'll be hard to do that, then that's what you're going to get. If you're going to say stuff like, I'm going to get this done, it's going to be easy. When I let my frustration about trying to drive to Florida go, and I just thought, okay, I'm going to get it done, and it's going to be easy, it was, it did become easy. Just watch the picture, just watch the image. We have a very important football game coming on, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. And here's another good one. Write on your heart every day that this is the best day of the year. Today is the best day of the year. And when you wake up tomorrow, say, today is the best day of the year. And when you say that all of these days are going to be the best day of the year, when you anticipate and expect that, you get on the vibrational frequency that today is the best day of the year, something great is going to happen to you. And you're going to have the best day of the year. And guess what? Every day of the year can be the best day. That's the point. Here's my last one. The new year is a new chapter and a new verse, or is it just the same old story? Ultimately, we write it, so the choice is yours. My brother Stephen was talking this morning about how it's really not a new year. It's just the same thing. Nothing ever changes. But you know what? It changes if you change it. It can be the same. It can be the same if you want it to be the same. You can go through the same, you can still have the same job. You can still wake up and be driving the same car. But if your attitude towards it changes, then it won't be the same. And if you add just a little bit of spice, if you use your imagination, if you see the images that you want in your life coming towards you, then you're going to attract them like a magnet. Whatever my images of, I had no idea what the image of of Australia and New Zealand, I saw pictures in the book, and it was, they were good images, but a lot of it was very different than I actually expected. And Hawaii, I saw pictures of Hawaii. A lot of people know what Waikiki Beach looks like, and I have to tell you, when you go there and see it, it's way more beautiful than any picture that you can see in a book. And now I have that real image in my mind because I went there and I saw it live, and that was really amazing. So I'm going to try and so the challenge for you is to use your imagination and let your imagination run wild. Don't limit your imagination. This is the thing that we have that animals don't have. We can imagine things that are going to happen. And we can imagine whatever we want. You can imagine yourself, making $1 million in real estate this year. That's what I'm planting right now. I'm planting the seeds of real estate millions for next year. And they're also going to turn into real estate billions. But, I'm willing to go millions for the first year and then worry about the billions later. I'm not even worried about it. I expect that it's going to come. So I am planting right now in 2019 that I am going to be a real estate millionaire next year. I've already started doing stuff. Now, just by saying it out loud, I've planted the seed. And then, you have to act. I started looking at real estate in Florida, and I saw some good stuff, and I actually drove around, and now I'm starting to figure out whatever the next step is. But the key is I've already planted the seed, so that when I move on into the next year and the next decade, I can say like, oh yes, I started this last year. And you know what? You get the benefit of the whole 365 days. It's like when when people have children and they're born in December, they get the benefit of the whole tax deduction, even if the kid's born December 30th. So use that for your goals. Use the momentum of the whole year or the whole decade to push you forward on the goals and the things that you want to accomplish in the next year or the next 5 years or the next decade or the rest of your life. Time is something that's made up. We made it up. So you can use it. You can use it as a guide, and it is good to set goals and set times when you're going to have things done. Or you can just say, it doesn't matter because, a lot of times people say, oh, I should have gone to college when I was in my 20s. I should have gotten married when I was in my 30s. I should have, started a new career or a new business when I was in my 40s. Or they say, oh, when I'm in my 50s, I'm going to retire. When I'm in my 60s, I'm going to retire. And people have these ideas set up in their mind about what they're going to do in the decades. And if it doesn't happen, then they're like, oh, I didn't get it done. But that doesn't mean that you can't go to college when you're 40 or start a new business when you're 20 or, anything. All of those things are imaginary things that we make up in our minds. And if you hold yourself to it, then, you could end up limiting your ability and your power to do stuff. So I have to go because we're going to watch a very important football game because if the Seahawks win, the Saints are going to be number 2 seed, and that's what we want. So I'm going to go cheer for the Seahawks right now, and I will see you all next week. I'll be back home after my vacation in Florida, and until then, I love you all, and love is all you need. Thank you. Bye. Have a great night. Happy New Year. See you next decade. Bye.